Zowie finally made a wireless mouse, guys. We got the EC2-CW in the house, but is it too little, too late? Let's talk about it. Okay, so the big story with these mice has been the price, which comes in at a whopping 150 smackaroons, okay? Other companies like Razer have been charging just as much, but the difference is Razer's actually pushing the boundaries with their mice, whereas Zowie went with some dated tech. They have the 3370 sensor in here that was released 2 years ago, and this is higher than today's standard for mouse weight. Versus Razer, which has the Gen 3 optical switches, Focus Plus sensor, 4000 Hz polling rate, all while lowering the weight of their mice. I could go on, but you can already see the difference here. It's easy to see that Zowie went for stability over innovation with their mice. They played it safe. It's similar to what they've been doing for the past couple of years. It took them so long just to put a paracord on their mice. They had that old rubber one from before. They didn't want to hop on the lightweight mouse train, as this is only coming in at a few grams shy of their original EC2 mouse line. And now they're back with a wireless offering that isn't that impressive on paper. They have this huge dock to charge your mouse, and they also have an option for just a smaller USB dongle. I'm thinking here maybe they could have cut the cost by not having that smaller dongle, or using the USB dongle just to go into the receiver instead of having two different receivers. One thing that was a huge miss for me were these skates. These are so scratchy out of the box, and what made it worse was I was using an Artisan Heian at the time. So man, it just provided such a scratchy surface. I did put this on another mouse pad like a GSR, and it was a little better, but still, by today's standards, this is below average. Now, I'm sure these will smooth out more over time. It just feels like this could have been way better out of the box. This is definitely gonna need some third-party skates, and inevitably that's gonna cost us more money in the long run. Now the front foot has been split, so where the charger now charges the mouse, there's also now an indicator near the front of the mouse as well. On the bottom of the mouse, there's also the DPI and the polling rate. It's plug and play now, which I love, but now as mice are getting more and more sophisticated with more and more settings, I kind of miss having software. I can't believe I'm saying that. I miss Razer Synapse. Who have I become? Guys, you know, I'm just saying, it's nice seeing how much battery you have left, or just the settings at the click of a mouse instead of having to turn over or continuously pressing the DPI to cycle through everything. I don't know. It's just like the little things now. Here you're kind of left guessing how much battery you have left. I don't even know how long this thing really lasts, to be honest with you guys. I charged it once, it lasted me about a week or so. The coating is reminiscent of all the other Zowie mice, again, going with what's worked for them in the past and sticking with it. A very matte feeling, but can get slippery over an extended period of time. Now, for some, this is gonna add grip, and for others, it's just gonna become a slippery mess. You really have to see if this will work for you. They are using KO 8.0 switches, which is nice, and a nice departure from the Omrons that they had in their older mice. They didn't try anything out of the ordinary, like some pink Dahuano switches or, you know, some optical switches. Again, just playing it safe. What's working is what they're gonna go with here. The mouse 1 and 2 do feel okay, not as much pre-travel as they've had in the past. That's a minor upgrade here. The side buttons have also improved, barely any pre-travel and a nice amount of post-travel. They still have this horrendous scroll wheel on here with the 24 steps that people have been complaining about for years. It's like nails on a chalkboard at this point. Oh, I'm not saying they need to change this completely, but it's obvious that we can game with smoother scroll wheels like on most modern mice, and it's better for everyday computing. Again, they played it safe by putting something in that they had before. But don't take my word for it, let's drop that sound test. Now, it may seem like I'm just ragging on Zowie, and honestly, you know, it's because I want them to do better. I have so many fond memories of Zowie mice. They saved me from having to use a G502, but they just have so many stellar shapes. The ZA series, S, EC, FK, a lot of banger shapes. It's just sad they can't get it together in offering us a new modern update of their mice. Needless to say, if you do like the EC2, you're going to like this one. It's just wireless. Pick it up. It's safe. It's gonna work for you if you love everything about that mouse. This ergonomic shape is as good as it's always been. Others have tried to copy the shape, but they haven't got that ratio down like the EC2 has. There's just something special about this shape. Now for me, the scratchiness of the feet just got to me, and the weight, I just couldn't do it. It would take me about a month to fully adjust to the weight of this mouse, and I don't think it's really that worth it to get that, especially when all other mice are within the 40 to 60 gram weight at the moment. With all these copycats, I can't help but compare and to also feel like we already have this mouse. I mean, we have like the Pulsar V2, which is great. We have the Death Adder V3 Pro with a 4000 Hz dongle rate. Amazing. We have the glorious Model D, D- for a while now with the same specs, 3370 sensor. If you want these specs with this kind of shape, most likely you've already upgraded to it. And for you, buying this mouse would probably be a horizontal move rather than a vertical move, and maybe even a step back. And when they cost less than half of this mouse, you start wondering why spend the $150 on this mouse. You have to give people a reason to spend this kind of money, and I don't feel like Zowie did that. Now for the Zowie loyalists, they're going to buy this mouse, right? Because they've just been waiting for it. It's wireless, but I think for most people, they've gotten wise, and we just have so many options out now that I think a lot of people will actually skip this mouse. Now I hope Zowie makes like an experimental line where they can take some more risks outside of, you know, this line, and also drop the price of the mouse in the meantime. But because it took so long in the end, I think this came a little bit too late. All right, so if you're new here, we do a rating system where we rate the mouse out of 10 to let you guys know where it stands versus other mice. And in the case of the Zowie EC2-CW, it gets a 7.5 out of 10. All right, guys, quick and easy. It has been your boy BT saying